Hello my darlings, welcome back to my channel. This is Reads with Lauren. I am Lauren and it's so great to have you here with me today. Today I wanted to talk about the books that I am hoping to read in February, so my February TBR. But before we begin, if you are new here, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Please feel free to subscribe if you like my content and you want to see more from me. But I'm interested to hear what you guys have on your TBR. If you have anything that you've kind of put off for a long time that you're hoping to read this month, or anything that you've discovered within the last few days that you just cannot wait to sink your teeth into, please let me know in the comments below. But let's get started. These are the books that I am hoping to read in February. So the first book that I'd like to read in February is The Bandit Queens by Parini Shroff. I'm holding it awkwardly because it's a library book. It's got location on it, so we're not gonna post that on the internet, but I got this from the library, and this one I've heard lots about. I'll just read the back. So Geeta is believed to have killed her vanished husband, a rumour she hasn't bothered trying to correct, because a reputation like that can keep a single woman safe in rural India. But when she's approached for help in ridding another wife and her abusive drunk of a husband, her reluctant agreement sets in motion a chain of events that will change the lives of all the women in the village. A darkly irreverent and fresh take on a feminist revenge thriller which acknowledges the unfortunate status quo for women everywhere and shows us that female connections and friendships are what carry us through the darkness and absurdity of life. That sounds so good. I cannot wait to read this one. The next book that I'm hoping to read in February, and I'll be honest, I am recording this a weekend and I may have already finished this one, but it is The Love Scribe by Amy Mayerson. This is one that I picked up, I believe, sometime last year, just because it sounded really good. I love anything to do with writing books. You know, if a book is about a book, I'm gonna want to read it. So this one is about Alice, and Alice has helped her friend out, Gabby, by writing her this beautiful story because she's just gone through this breakup and she's really struggling. However, it turns out that Gabby reads this story and then proceeds to find who she believes is the love of her life. So what ensues is this wild ride. Ends up building a career out of being a love scribe because whenever someone reads one of her stories, they end up falling in love. I won't go too much into my thoughts on it because this is the TBR. You will get a review at the end of the month. I had many things to say about this one. It's a little bit of magic realism, a little bit of romance, which is always a bit of fun. Next, and I have to admit, I may have already read this one as well. This is another library book, and it is Peach Pit, 16 Stories of Unsavory Women. So this is edited Molly Llewellyn and Christelle Buckley. This is an anthology of 16 short stories, and I'm not a huge fan of short story collections normally, but I am a big fan of morally great characters. Plenty of trigger warnings and review to come. So this one is one that I have started. I've only just started it, but it is Lessons by Ian McEwan. This one has been on my radar for a little while, and this one is about Roland. This centers on two timelines, so it's Roland as a child and also Roland as an adult. As a small child, just after the Second World War, Roland has been put into a boarding school and builds a very unhealthy relationship with one of the teachers. And then in the second timeline, he and his wife have just had a baby, but his wife has just disappeared and he is on the lookout to find her. I'm really intrigued with this one. This is, like I said, one that's been on my radar for a long time. Obviously there's some trigger warnings. There are some very delicate topics in here. So if that's not your bag, maybe not one for you to read, but I'm really looking forward to finishing this one. The next one I want to read in February, again, another one I have already read, but if you know me, you know that I love Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a big comfort thing for me. So I picked up The Women Who Lived, The Amazing Tales for Future Time Lords. So this gives you a bit of an overview of each of the women characters that have been portrayed throughout Doctor Who. But yeah, this was just a random pickup at the library. I got super excited when I saw it, and I'm looking forward to reviewing it for you guys at the end of the month. The next is another one that I picked up from the library. I have just started it, and it's been really interesting so far, so I'm keen to learn some more, and that is Death of a Bookseller by Alice Slater. I'll read the back for you. Would you kill for a good story? Roach, bookseller, loner, and true crime fanatic, has no interest in making friends. She has all the company she needs in her serial killer books, murder podcasts, and her pet snail Bleep. That is, until Laura joins the bookshop. With her cute literary tote bags and sunny smile, she's everyone's favourite bookseller. But beneath the shiny veneer, Roach senses a darkness within Laura, the same darkness Roach possesses. And as curiosity blooms into morbid obsession, Roach becomes determined to be part of Laura's story, whether Laura wants her in it or not. Deliciously dark, unsettling, and utterly addictive, Death of a Bookseller is a roller coaster of suspense that will make your skin crawl and your heart pound. How good does that sound? I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I am about 60 pages in, and I think that I will be getting through it pretty quickly. The next one, yet again, another one that I have already finished because this is a week in, but I picked this one up first because, as you can see, there is a sticker saying please read me first. Obviously this is in high demand at the library, so this was the first one that I read. This is about Daphne, and Daphne and Peter have what she thinks is this beautiful relationship, but then Peter comes back from his bachelor party and lets her know he is actually in love with his best friend Petra. So he and Petra then move in together, get married, and Daphne ends up moving in with Miles, who is Petra's ex. So it's a fake dating trope and obviously a romance because it is Emily Henry. So yeah, looking forward to reviewing it for you guys at the end of the month because I have a fair bit to say. The next book is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. This is another one that I picked up from the library. The reason I picked this one up, even though I am trying to have a little bit of a break from fantasy because last month was very fantasy driven, I have seen Mark Lawrence around a lot, and I also, in the Herkiad Challenge, have discovered Spiffbo, which is like a sci-fi fantasy indie author sort of competition almost. And Mark Lawrence is heavily involved in that. So I thought this would be a good one to pick up to check out his work. And the back says, the greatest story can reach the stars. Eva has lived his whole life trapped within a vast library older than empires and larger than cities. Lavira has spent hers in a tiny settlement out on the dust where nightmares stalk and no one goes. The world has never noticed them. That's about to change. It's got a review on the back from Robin Hobb, which is a good sign, even though I haven't read any of her work yet. I know that she is very well loved in the fantasy community, so I'm looking forward to this one, and we love a library story. Then on to audios, I am halfway through The First Men on the Moon. This is by H.G. Wells. It is a timeless classic. Last month I read The War of the Worlds via audio, and David Tennant read it to me, so it was wonderful. This is a different narrator, but I'm still enjoying the story. It is obviously a classic. It was written in 1901, so it's a little bit outdated, but it's been really great so far, and I'm really looking forward to finishing it. It is basically about this man who goes overseas to write a play, and he runs into this scientist who has created a sphere that can take them to the moon. And they meet the tenants of the moon. So it's been really intriguing so far, and I'm looking forward to finishing it. And then as part of the Herkiad Challenge, I've been trying to stick to this prompt particularly, even though I am a little bit behind on keeping my data up to date for that challenge. But The Dollhouse Academy by Margarita Montemore is coming out this month, and I have already pre-saved it to listen to via audio as soon as it is available. I am very excited. Margarita wrote Una Out of Order, which is one I read at the end of last year, and I really enjoyed. It was such a good read. So The Dollhouse Academy sort of seems to have dark academia vibes. Based on what I have read, one of the main protagonists, Ivy, used to be within the Dollhouse Academy, and as she's grown up, she's started to become more open about the issues and the very questionable things that occurred within that academy. But the book also centers on two other characters who are just joining the Dollhouse Academy. That I don't know a lot more than that, and I want to kind of keep it that way because I love a story where I go in just not knowing what's going to happen. But yeah, looking forward to this one. It's coming out on the 11th. But my loves, that is all the books that I have popped on my TBR for February. I'm hoping to read a lot more, but I thought this is just a nice good number, and anything else on top of that will be awesome. So I'll leave you all here now. Thank you so much if you've watched to the end. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in a new video very, very soon. Goodbye, my darling.